Yeah. What are we even living for? What are we even looking for? What are we even dying for? The money, the whips, the mansions, the clique, the nation. Does anybody even know?
Does anybody even know what we looking for? Life's cold when you lost in a civil war. Hammer blow, disappear like a puff of smoke.
In 2009, God called me out of hip-hop. It happened through a dream where my pastor called me out of the congregation and told me that I had the gift of revelation. Then he asked me, "What do you preach, young man?" And I told him, "Pastor, I preach revival, but I believe my foundational calling is prayer and intercession." Later in the dream, when I told him that I also reached out through hip-hop, he told me that I was vulnerable in hip-hop. I didn't understand, so I got out of the dream. I started seeking the Lord. I went to my mentors. One particular mentor stood out. When I told him about the dream, he told me that hip-hop was my natural ability, but he didn't believe that was my spiritual calling. So he told me that hip-hop was a holy distraction in my life. And I wondered, how can anything holy be a distraction? Anyway, fast forward, I'm in America, the land of hip-hop. 2009, 2010, the Lord leads me into a 40-day fast and prayer season. And then during that time, I get introduced to a group of people, a company of people in the Bible called the Nazirites. Numbers chapter 6. They were called to separate themselves from things that were legitimate, like drinking wine. Things that were not necessarily evil, but things that were acceptable, things that were permissible. And were called to come into this uncommon consecration and separation so God could use them for His glory in Israel. So I began to understand that hip-hop in my life had become good, and good was the enemy of best. So this birthed the prayer movement in Uganda, Camp 120, and it took me separating myself from hip-hop. That was a good thing in my life, to join the prayer movement, raise up a group of young people that were going to pray 24/7 around the clock, pray for revival and the sending forth of missionaries to the rest of the world. I am Nazirite, and that's my story.
Slave again, never. Cause I was born again, giant killer for the king. It's a battle for your brain.